for showing up, but let's face it, if you hadn't shown up, there would be more food for me, so no. We're also supposed to have a bunch of embarrassing stories about the groom, but that's really tough because one, Matt has zero shame. He once led an interpretive dance group that was all men and very feminine. And two, the stories that are embarrassing I can't tell around food, like the time he came home from school covered in pee. But it wasn't his, so there's that.
Not good.
When I first met Matt, I had just come out of 9 months of solitary confinement, screaming and bloody, which is to say I'm his brother, so I have plenty of stories to tell about him. But the one that best explains who he is, I think, is actually pretty short, so you'll all be happy to hear that. I was at the final level of some video game facing the final boss, who he stabbed my character. I visualize this. He's got a knife in my stomach, right? And he's punching my partner over and over on the side of the screen. Now, of course, anyone not playing the game is like, it's a game. Who cares? No one cares. But Matthew comes into the room, and he doesn't know anything about this. He walks into the room, and he sees me playing this game. He's like, oh, Joel, he's got your friend. Oh, Joel, help him. He's screaming at the end of the room, and I'm playing the game, and I'm not getting half of what he's getting out of it. And I beat the level, and he's out of breath and sweating from it. But that's who Matt is. He's a guy who he gets excited about things way more than anyone else does or should. They announced the title, just the title of the next Star Wars movie, and he spent the rest of the day going, oh man, The Last Jedi, oh, what does it mean? He's just freaking out. I once saw him spend half an hour just looking up pictures and videos of a giant squid monster named Cthulhu and just repeating, oh shoot man, you're dead if you ever seen that. Oh no! Half an hour. And because Matt gets so excited about literally everything, I've learned to take what he says with a grain of salt. He tells me a movie he saw is amazing. It'll be okay. I took him on a camping trip the other week, and it rained the whole time. And afterwards, he's like, "Oh, it was a fun time. It was great." So it was a really pleasant surprise for me when Jenna actually lived up to the hype that Matt brought up.
Aww.
I could tell that Matt and Jenna were a great couple from the beginning because, well, they're both crazy. I learned this when we had her over for a family game night, and she would repeatedly scream, "Domination!" as she ran across the restaurant. I don't know if she won, but she proved to us that she could keep up with Matt's insanity, which is not an easy thing to do. And whenever we would all hang out, they would have so much laughter, and I know for a fact Matt isn't that funny, so it had to be. But when I really knew these two were going places was on Christmas Eve of 2015. Jenna got Matt this book that listed all the reasons why she loved Matt. And it was a big book, so that's pretty cool. She gets Matt this book, and I can see that Matt is just overwhelmed by it as he's flipping through. He's welling up a bit. And Jenna's just sitting there like, yep, I nailed it. And Matt, except for today, tends to avoid PDA because he's a polite guy. But that day, I could see him trying to contain himself because he was around all his family, but he just couldn't, and he had to give Jenna a little peck on the forehead. And I thought that was a really sweet moment, and that's when I knew that you two really had it, that you really loved each other. Oh, here it comes. A couple of weeks after these two got engaged, I asked Matt how he was feeling about the whole thing, because hopefully this is only going to be his only wedding, and I didn't want him to mess it up. So I asked him how he's feeling, and he tells me, "Joel, I'm serious right now. I can marry her tomorrow." He loves you very much, Jenna. I don't even have to say it, Matt. Wow, here it comes. You've done such a great job showing it, and you have such a better way with words about it, obviously, than me. But it's just beautiful what you have. You make each other so happy. And I'm so happy for both of you. I hope and I pray that everything does work out for you the way it always does, Matt. I hope you both lead a life full of joy and love no matter what comes your way. This is killer. I'm really glad I get to be your best man, Matt, even though I'm your only brother and it would be really awkward not to ask me. Because honestly, nobody is more happy and proud for you two than I am. And if anyone thinks they are, we can talk about it outside after. I've always been extremely proud to have you as my brother. Watching you lead a ridiculous interpretive dance scene to watching you fall in love with this beautiful woman of God. When you got engaged, I gotta say, it was really annoying that no one else was crying, because you could tell, I really wanted to cry that day. And I was back the whole time, just no one else was doing it. It was rough. No, there were some other things I wanted to say. I just wanted to say, like, on the subject of me crying all the time. I don't cry all the time. In the green room today, I was supposed to comfort Matthew, and I was crying the whole time. I was just in tears. I couldn't do it. But they're happy tears because I really am. I am so happy for you two. I can't look in this direction. I'm gonna wrap it up before I'm still on the floor. Matt, I love you. You're like a brother to me. I love you, not as much as Matt does, but I mean, you do what you can. I'm so excited to see what you two do with your lives together, and you better have me over now and again, because I'm going to miss you a lot. You two told me these things on a toast. I don't know how to do that, so bon appetit. Merry Christmas. You can do a toast. I don't know. I don't have a cup. It's Matt and Jenna.